On 4th of September, President Yoweri Museveni launched a week-long campaign in Kabale to speak on radio stations upcountry. He's explaining the controversial Constitution Amendment Bill on land that Cabinet recently withdrew from Parliament to allow more consultations. According to the President, who has since spoken on 5 radio stations in western Uganda and is now in the central region, detractors have misrepresented the intention of the amendment, which is to speed up the implementation of government projects. On the tours, the President is accompanied by ministers on the lands docket, the Attorney General and other senior officials. Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development Betty Amongi has answered critics who claim that the President's tours show lack of confidence in her and other members of the Cabinet who have failed to promote his agenda.
This particular amendment is a cabinet amendment, and being a cabinet amendment, we are duty bound as cabinet with the person who is the head of the cabinet. And this bill has only been brought for a short time, and because of the overpowering of misrepresentation, it requires concerted efforts of all the cabinet members.
In the proposed amendment to Article 26 of the Constitution, the central and local governments intend to take over private land for public works without first compensating the landowner. Government proposes to deposit in court the disputed compensation sum, as any dispute is resolved as the public works go on. On why the President did not wait for a report from the Commission of Inquiry into Land Matters, Minister Amongi says the President's actions should not be mixed up with other assignments.
Because there has been a misconception out there that this particular bill is for land grabbing. However, the President's tour is letting people understand why the law, also let the people understand what are the rationale for the law, and also provide evidence on projects that have been stalled.
When Cabinet met resistance in the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee that is considering the constitutional amendment, the matter was taken to the NRM caucus, where it also received resistance. The caucus then passed it to a committee led by Vice President Edward Sekandi for more consultations. The committee is yet to complete its work. Despite this, the minister says government has paid a number of people from whom it acquired land.
There are many pieces of land we have purchased that have never been titled, and therefore we now want to ensure that we title all that we have purchased, but also secondly to ensure that where there are landlords willing to sell, we also reach out to those landlords, purchase and also survey and title.
Opposition Shadow Attorney General Wilfred Niwagaba says the claim that some landowners have frustrated government projects is not justifiable.
If you had a government that plans, you would, one, do the planning, the feasibility study. After you've done the feasibility study, do the designs. After designing, go to land acquisition. Why do you start implementing a project before you have acquired the land? So you wouldn't risk with this government to allow them take land without paying you what you believe is fair and adequate.
Some MPs also said the President's land campaign is misguided.
We are telling him that he can go to all the radio stations he wants. He can visit all the televisions. He can go and address rallies wherever he wants to go. It will again come back to Parliament. We will not allow that law.
What is he trying to insinuate? We have enough land laws.